In three, two, oh, you're probably already there. What up, Facebook? Guys, if you want to make sure that you guys get these videos and that you see them, make sure you turn on notifications. And if you want to get the link to subscribe to the YouTube channel where we post all of these videos so that you'll make sure that you'll never miss any, just drop a Y and I'll make sure that you guys get the link to subscribe. But the rest of y'all, guys, I'm sorry I haven't been hanging out with you as much as I usually do. I've been down in the trenches running and helping facilitate and organize an event for One Life Fully Lived this past weekend. And what an incredible experience to be able to hang out with people like Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote, I think like the third or fourth most popular book like in the world, right? David Osborne, who is someone who is approaching billionaire status. Garrett Gunderson, who's one of the smartest people in wealth building that I've ever met, and people like Jen Gruber, who in her first year in business, she scaled her business to $1 million, and then her second year in business scaled it to $10 million. So what I really took away was, well, a lot of things. So guys, if you guys are happening to be here right now, let me know who's watching, and obviously if we're not connected, let me know where you're tuning in from. Say what's up. And if you're having to catch us on the replay, give me some replay low. Let me know. I always am curious who's out there. But I thought it would be helpful because what was really, really interesting is that there were two things that I saw all of these people utilize in being able to build their business, right? And it was really leverage. And I wrote it down, so I wanted to make sure I had it, right? It was really leverage and their brand, right? It was leverage and brand. And between every single person that I saw there, what I really noticed was that everybody was utilizing more than themselves, and that was a big aspect of just kind of what I took away. And the number one, I guess for me personally, outside of marketing, right, like it was really just a different kind of belief set, right, a different kind of education system, if you will. And here's Robert gave out some books, and here's his old one, but he's actually coming out with a new book called Why the Rich Are Getting Richer. And I read it this past weekend on the way home, and it's just an incredible eye-opener for people who are thinking that they are going to do the millionaire next door path, right? Like a lot of people think that that's the route they're going to take, where they're going to save, lots of money. They're going to, put a lot of money into the stock market. And then, at the end of the journey, there's going to be this big pot of gold that's going to spew out lots of money that will, we can, buy a yacht with, right? Like, let me know if that's, like, give me an emoji if that's something that you have like kind of experienced growing up, or I know that like that's kind of the idea that my parents had put forward, right? But here was a crazy stat from from the book, and it was that like in 1960, right, interest rates were 15%. So if you saved $1 million and you had a $1 million in your bank account, then that would mean that would spew off $150,000. And in 1960, if you lived off $150,000, you could live very well off of $150,000 back in 1960. Now, if we go to today, though, right, and we take it to today, well, what that looks like today is if someone saves $1 million, well, at 2% interest, which is like very, very generous, that's $20,000. Well, I live here in Los Angeles, okay, and $20,000 doesn't even buy you a spot on the side of the road here. And so for people who are thinking that they're just going to build up this large kind of bucket of wealth are in for a very rude awakening. And I'm just so grateful that I had the opportunity to connect with these people who are already, miles and miles ahead of it. And I think Robert Kiyosaki kind of led the charge because what I really love about Kiyosaki is that he thinks like an entrepreneur. He's a real entrepreneur, true and true. And so what he really finds is opportunities for businesses to be able to take advantage is not the right word, but I think utilize the systems and utilize these different incentives like taxes to be able to grow their business while also living a lifestyle that isn't restrictive, right? I think that there was a big shift, right, between the Millionaire Next Door and Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? Like almost it was this just, I mean, you should get the book. I wasn't a I wasn't as big of a Kiyosaki fan as I was after I read that book. I don't know if that makes sense. So like I was never as big of a Kiyosaki fan until I read that book. Even after meeting him and getting a chance to hang out with him and interview him. If you guys didn't see that video, go join the One Life community on Facebook, facebook.com/group/One Life Fully Lived, and you guys can see the actual interview we did with that I did with Robert, which is actually cool. I actually got a chance to interview and hang out with him twice now. You know, no big deal, right? Just, you know, me and Bob, we're good pals. Just kidding. But that was a big thing, was seeing how they leverage the system and how they leverage these incentives to be able to grow their business and also to grow their lifestyle, right? You don't have to suffer, you know, what they really are. And it's not only him, Garrett Gunderson. You guys don't know Garrett. Garrett is someone who founded the Wealth Factory, and he absolutely dominated the stage for an hour and blew my mind. Actually, absolutely melted my mind in terms of how to think about money and how to think about building long-term wealth. Because similar to what, you know, Robert was saying, is that, you know, the old Millionaire Next Door model isn't going to work anymore, you know, moving forward, right? Throwing all your money into the stock market, like, who knows how that's going to work out? You know what I mean? So like, that's not going to be the answer. But building a business is always the answer, right? Because in prosperous times, businesses thrive. And in not prosperous times, well, businesses can thrive if you're a good enough, you know, entrepreneur and executor. So it's really, really practical for people to start looking at it a little bit differently. And Garrett really laid out the foundation to be able to do that. So just quick plug for Garrett. He's the founder at wealthfactory.com, and he's got an awesome funnel. Today I landed on, I was like, I'm gonna do some just, you know, I want to do some learning, right? I want to, you know, so I looked him up on YouTube, watched a video on YouTube, then went on his website, clicked into a free guide, didn't even open the free guide, watched a little, you know, automated webinar, and then a few minutes later, I gave him $200 and I'm in his program, right? And it's like, it's that kind of easy, you know, it's that kind of thinking that's allowed him to thrive. So I wrote down two things that people like Robert, right, and people like Garrett are really, really mastering at a, you know, from a marketing standpoint, right? Like, you know, a lot of you guys are obviously, I would imagine you guys are marketers. So quick plug, guys, I'm going to ask for some love here. If any of these videos are valuable, just hit the like button. Let's see if we can get a few more people to view this. So I'm going to take any questions if you guys have any. Tasha, what's going on? Jahan, John, always stalking. Alex, what's up? Vito. Thank you guys for hopping on. I do always appreciate you guys deciding to hang out. But as I'm sitting here and I'm reflecting on this weekend, I obviously, for me, took a lot away in terms of how I can build, you know, wealth long term. But what I was thinking about for you guys and how I can bring it to you and value to you was, what are these people doing, you know, not even really behind the scenes? What are they doing in front of the curtain that allows them to have this monstrous, you know, this monstrosity of resources behind them, right? Because what I love about Kiyosaki is he says his favorite, you know, I can't say his favorite, one of his favorite things is money for nothing, right? Creating what's called infinite returns. And what that means is, like, if you don't put any money down, right? If you don't invest any of your own money and you actually get money back on that, well, that's what he calls an infinite return, because 0 divided by anything is actually, you know, it's not actually 0 in this case, it's infinite, right? Because you're not actually investing anything into this, you know, into this project, right? You're able to provide your ideas, you're able to provide your mental capital, you're able to provide your relationship capital, you're able to provide your, you know, your strategic capital, right? I think are really the two things. But what they're doing is they're leveraging lots of, whether it's people, they're leveraging systems, you know, they're leveraging funnels, they're leveraging things so that these people, so that they are not they're not like, of course they're busy, right? Their life is filled, but they themselves are not frenetic, right? It's like, that's so beautiful, is that you watch them and they're able to enjoy life because they have systems, they have employees, they have businesses, they have softwares, they have things that are actually there working and building wealth for them, so that they do not necessarily have to be all, doing it themselves, right? If you're a door-to-door salesperson, the challenge is that you are only selling stuff when you are knocking on those doors. So unless you're knocking on those doors, you're not making money. Whereas Bob, right? I can't call him Bob. We're definitely not on those terms. Robert has his book here. So it's like here is he's not even knocking on my door. Robert's already in my house, right? And so for you, if you can find a way to scale, leverage, and utilize these things to be able to, impact more people, to be able to create a larger buzz, to be able to, engage more people in your community, well, that's going to allow you the opportunity to be able to sell something to them, right? Just, kind of, right? I think that's really kind of what it comes down to. So I wanted to just say hi. Jose, Marissa, Jamie, Alex, thanks for hopping on, guys. If you guys are out there and watching, say what's up, and just drop a, let me know where you're watching from. If I don't know you, right? I know there's a lot of people who are out there that I just don't know. All right, what else do we want to talk about? How long have we been going for? We've been going for, what are we at? We always try and get to the 15-minute mark at least. I'll ramble just so we can get to the 15-minute mark. But if you guys have questions about this stuff, let's get into it. Second thing I want to talk about is brand, right? And this goes beyond like when you continue to leverage stuff, when you continue to leverage systems, when you continue to leverage tools, when you're able to outsource, when you're able to delegate. Well, what's great about things is that your brand permeates, right? Your brand continues to work even when you are not there. And so that's what's beautiful, is like Garrett did such a good job standing out. Garrett did such a good job of branding himself that later on I left, the last day of the event, or I haven't talked to him since Saturday, right? We chatted a little bit. I interviewed him. But guy's a busy guy. We chatted on Saturday. On Sunday, his stuff was rolling around in my head. On Monday, his stuff was rolling around in my head. And today, I looked him up, right? And he didn't run a Facebook ad. He didn't run anything. His brand was built, and he obviously had the luxury of being able to do it, face to face. But it permeated those days when he wasn't there, so much so that I came back and sat down and pulled out my debit card and bought, and gave him $200, gave him money, right? It wasn't a lot of money, but I gave him money, right? And it's like that in the same way is, if you can build a brand, well, that's what's going to impact your sales. That's going to impact your revenue when you are not there, right? It reminds me of the idea of strategy and culture, right? It reminds me of the idea of strategy and culture. And what I mean by that is that people have a lot of times a great strategy. They have a great plan, right? And when you're working in an organization, or even if you're around a group of people, the culture or the atmosphere or the things that the unwritten rules take way more precedent over the written rules, right? Case in point, okay? There's some places here in LA where there's lower income, higher crime, right? There's just for whatever reason, those people do not follow as many traffic laws, even like they just don't, right? It's really, really interesting, because as a environment, people have decided that it is okay, or that it is the norm to not follow the laws, right? Whereas you go into other parts of LA, 3, 4, 5 miles down the way, and all of a sudden everybody is following every single traffic law. They're stopping extra, long at the stop signs, and it's simply an environmental kind of thing. So if you have if you have sales tactics, right, that may be good when you are right there, right? That may be good when you are, when you are talking to them, when you're delivering it. But if you're able to build a brand, well, all of a sudden you can actually have that message be still there and have that message be lingering around even when you are not actively selling, right? So that I think is so powerful for people to be able to do. So let's take a look in here. Anais says no VR today. My computer is inactive right now, so it's or my VR computer is not working. So we will be up and doing some of that stuff in a couple of days. Ja, what's up? Aaron, Fernando, guys, if you guys have questions, throw them down there. Otherwise, if you want to make sure that you guys get these videos, okay, and you see them, you can either turn on notifications, right? That's one route if you watch them on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube, you want to prefer to watch them on YouTube, just comment why, and I'll make sure that I have someone on our team follow up and get you the YouTube subscription link, because we put all of these videos onto YouTube, and sometimes it's just easier to go there and see them all. So if you want to get the access to the YouTube link, then go and drop a Y, or you could just search Millennial Skills on YouTube. Either way, whatever you want to do. But hopefully you guys have an amazing weekend. And it's Tuesday, right? Jesus, my weekend ended yesterday. Sorry. It was a crazy weekend, and I'm sorry I didn't chat with you more, but everything is golden. We live in a world of abundance. It's exciting opportunities as well. Vito says why what? Oh, I meant like just the letter Y. like a YouTube or like YT or something, just to let me know that you want the YouTube link, like the letter Y is what I meant, not Y. But I appreciate that, Vito. I love you. All right, guys. Hopefully you have an amazing day, and we'll see you later.